Okay, Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya, thank you for joining us. Lukashenko has said that he would join the war against Ukraine if he felt a threat to Belarus. You've said that Belarusians don't want to fight Ukraine. How do you respond to this latest declaration from Lukashenko?
So first of all, we don't have to believe Lukashenko at all, because on the one hand he says that he wants peace, and with the other hand, he sent missiles to attack Ukraine. So I have to say that not at all depends on Lukashenko, because Belarusian people don't want to fight against Ukrainians. We don't have this pro-war mood, so we will never see this Z or V signs on the streets of Belarusian cities. 86% of Belarusians are opposing the war. But Lukashenko has to create the image of external enemy to spread the message to people that I am protecting you. He is not. He thinks only about his own power. He doesn't think about Belarusian people, our independence, or Ukrainians. And he will fulfill all the orders that are given from Kremlin.
You're on trial in absentia there in Belarus. Your husband has just had another hearing. Do you still need to fear for your life as you're traveling around, you and your children now living in exile?
So we live in difficult times, and we are under constant threat from the side of the regime. And the regime can harm people physically, but also morally, because they try to ruin our democratic unity. They spread gossips all the time. They are afraid of this unification of Belarusian people. So we saw with hijacking of Ryanair flight that we thought it's impossible, but we saw that it's possible. So of course we have to take care about ourselves, about people in exile. But our main task is to try to protect people who are on the ground, because people are still continue to resist to this regime. They are in extreme danger, and while communicating to the people inside the country, we have to think about their security first of all. So I believe that being in European countries, we are safe enough, but of course we have to watch closely what's going on around us.
Yeah, because of that Ryanair flight being downed, that's true. And finally, I mean, the fact that the regime is still behaving like this, despite having sanctions piled on it, means perhaps those measures aren't having enough of an impact. Is the West doing enough to help Belarus, or is all the attention going to Ukraine and not enough perhaps to the region?
Of course, now Ukraine is in the focus, and we fully support this, because we understand that on the battlefields of Ukraine, not only fate of Ukraine, but also fate of Belarus, and actually the fate of Europe is solved. So we need to support Ukrainians as much as we can. But we managed to find many friends among democratic countries, and they are trying to help us. Maybe there's a lack of mechanisms in democratic countries how to deal with dictators, because they don't respect rule of law or international rules. But we have to stick to this idea of two-sided approach to Belarusian regime. On the one hand, to create multiple points of pressure, sanction regime, political isolation. On the other hand, to support civil society, not let us exhausted before regime is exhausted. I think that sanctions might work if they haven't had so many loopholes in the sanction policy, because we are dealing with experienced dictators who know how to circumvent sanctions. So that's why maybe sanctions don't work effectively because of these loopholes. But of course, we don't have to lift any sanctions until regime is fulfilling the demands of democratic forces to release all political prisoners and start negotiations about new free and fair elections.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.